to today's edition of Search the Scriptures. We are on study number 10 in the book of Deuteronomy. And today's study covers chapter 10, verse 12 through the end of chapter number 11. And we are going to answer two different questions in today's study. First one is this: what specifically are the attributes and ways of God particularized in chapter 10:12 through 11:12, and what are their corresponding demands? And secondly, what rewards and punishment for obedience and disobedience are specified in chapter 11 verse 13 through the end of the chapter. Well, let's take a look now at chapter 10, verse 12 through chapter 11, verse 32. If you have a Bible, it'd be good to get that out and follow along. And now, O Israel, what does the Lord your God ask of you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, to love him, to serve the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and to observe the Lord's commands and decrees that I am giving you today for your own good. To the Lord your God belong the heavens, even the highest heavens, the earth, and everything in it. Yet the Lord set his affection on your forefathers and loved them, and he chose you, their descendants, above all the nations, as it is today. Circumcise your hearts, therefore, and do not be stiff-necked any longer, for the Lord your God is a God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, the mighty and awesome one, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes. He defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow and loves the alien, giving him food and clothing, and you are to love those who are aliens, for you yourselves were aliens in Egypt. Fear the Lord your God and serve him. Hold fast to him and take your oaths in his name. He is your praise. He is your God, who performed for you those great and awesome wonders you saw with your own eyes. Your forefathers who went down into Egypt were 70 in all, and now the Lord your God has made you as numerous as the stars in the sky. Deuteronomy chapter number 11. Love the Lord your God and keep his requirements, his decrees, his laws, and his commands always. Remember today that your children were not the ones who saw and experienced the discipline of the Lord your God, his majesty, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm, the signs he performed and the things he did in the hearts of Egypt, both to Pharaoh king of Egypt and to his whole country, what he did to the Egyptian army, to its horses and chariots, how he overwhelmed them with the waters of the sea as they were pursuing you, and how the Lord brought lasting ruin on them. It was not your children who saw what he did for you in the desert until you arrived at this place, and what he did to Dathan and Abiram and sons of Eliab the Reubenite, when the earth opened its mouth right in the middle of all Israel and swallowed them up with their households, their tents, and everything living that belonged to them. But it was your own eyes that saw all these great things the Lord has done. Observe, therefore, all the commands I am giving you today, so that you may have the strength to go in and take over the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess, and so that you may live long in the land that the Lord swore to your forefathers to give to them and their descendants, a land flowing with milk and honey. The land you are entering to take over is not like the land of Egypt, from which you've come, where you planted your seed and irrigated it by foot as in a vegetable garden. The land you are crossing the Jordan to take possession of is a land of mountains and valleys that drinks rain from heaven. It is a land the Lord your God cares for. The eyes of the Lord your God are continually on it from the beginning of the year to its end. So if you faithfully obey the commands I am giving you today, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, then I will send rain on your land in its season, both autumn and spring rains, so that you may gather in your grain, new wine, and oil, and I will provide grass in the fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Be careful, or you will be enticed to turn away and worship other gods and bow down to them. Then the Lord's anger will burn against you, and he will shut the heavens so that it will not rain, and the ground will yield no produce, and you will soon perish from the good land the Lord is giving you. Fix these words of mine in your hearts and minds, and tie them as symbols on your hands, and bind them on your foreheads. Teach them to your children, talking about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children may be many in the land the Lord swore to give your forefathers, as many as the days that the heavens are above the earth. If you carefully obey all these commands I am giving you to follow to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to hold fast to him. Then the Lord will drive out all these nations before you, and you will dispossess nations larger and stronger than you. Every place where you set your foot will be yours. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon, and from the Euphrates River to the western sea. No man will be able to stand against you. The Lord your God, as he promised you, will put terror and fear of you on the whole land wherever you go. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing if you obey the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you. The curse if you disobey the commands of the Lord your God and turn away from that I command you today by following other gods which you have not known. When the Lord your God has brought you into the land you are entering to possess, you are to proclaim on Mount Gerizim the blessings and on Mount Ebal the curses. As you know, these mountains are across the Jordan, west of the road, toward the setting sun, near the great trees of Moreh, in the territory of those Canaanites living in the Arabah in the vicinity of Gilgal. You are about to cross the Jordan to enter and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you. When you have taken it over and are living there, be sure that you obey all the decrees and laws that I am setting before you today. Well, what specifically are the attributes and the ways of God, particularized in chapter 10, verse 12, through 11, verse 12, and what are their corresponding demands? Well, Deuteronomy 10:12 through 11:12 describes God as all-powerful, all-knowing, perfect in his compassion. These characteristics demand that we worship him, demand that we praise him, and demand that we show compassion toward those around us. Second question, what rewards and punishment for obedience and disobedience are specified in chapter 11, verse 13 through the end of the chapter? Well, those who obey the Lord are assured that he will provide rain on the land, bountiful harvests, an abundance of feed for their livestock, food for their families, and victory in battle. Failure to obey will result in the removal of his all-powerful hand, his all-knowing hand, and his ever-compassionate hand. So I would suggest that we obey the Lord. It sure sounds like that would be a better thing to do than to disobey him. Wouldn't life be a whole lot better for us in every single aspect if we would just obey the Lord? He gives us his commands for our own good, so that things will go well with us, so that he will receive glory. He's not glorified when our life falls apart, and our life never falls apart when we're being obedient to him. It only falls apart when we're being disobedient to him. If you're having struggles in your obedience with the Lord, I just pray that today you would take some time to get alone with the Lord, ask him what you need to do to correct the situation in your life. God bless. I hope this study has been a blessing to you. Have a fantastic rest of your day.